What is up, everybody? It's Sam, and we are back with another episode of Pessimistic at Best, the podcast. I have returning guest, friend of the pod, Grace Ferolo.
What's up?
How are you?
Just magnificent.
Grace fitted us for the podcast.
Denim all day.
So if you're watching the video episode, you're in for a treat. As you can see, if you're not, you're really missing out.
A bit of eye candy. Eat up.
Literally. These hats, for the record, for those of you who can't see, we are wearing denim bejeweled hats from Las Vegas.
Yes, baby.
So
Fresh
I feel
from.
incredible.
Yeah.
I feel like a woman right out of the desert.
You're glowing.
Thank you.
You do look good in sort of a Southwest.
Do I?
Yeah, aesthetic.
I had a tweet that sort of popped off one time where I said, I would love to die and come back as a Harley Davidson wife. And I feel like this is sort of giving.
That makes complete sense to me, as a matter of fact.
I tweeted that live from Bratfest 2022.
Oh my God. On the scene.
A lot of those girls there. Tons. That's an event of the season for them. Johnsonville.
You're a cuckoo.
Yeah. So, but I do feel like I actually haven't worn a baseball cap probably since I cut all my hair off. I don't hate it as much as I thought.
Yeah, because I know you were sort of lamenting about how you don't like baseball hats. And so when I sort of came up with this little plan for everybody, I was kind of hesitant. I wondered, would Samantha like the baseball hat? And lo and behold, you look amazing.
She got me sort of a girly one.
Yeah, it has little daisies on it.
I love it.
And pearls.
Yours is amazing.
Thank you.
You look like a rock star.
Thank you so much. It says LV. It's sort of inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Obviously, LV stands for Las Vegas, but
Could be
to the
Louis
naked
Vuitton.
eye, it could be Louis Vuitton.
Sort of designer.
I know. I won't tell if you don't.
Literally. I'm going to start telling everybody I'm from Vegas.
Yeah, you're like, this is my hometown hat.
Just a little slice of home. It's crazy. Also, if I like wore this out, people would not know what to think. I think this is like the furthest from anything I've worn.
Yeah, no, totally.
Maybe ever.
Yeah, this is, yours is definitely bold.
Totally.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I implore you to wear it out.
Yeah.
I encourage you to do that.
Yes.
I took a bit of a subtler approach.
Totally.
Yeah.
I
I don't blame you if you wanted to keep that in the home.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my house hat.
Maybe for the balcony.
Yeah. Rooftop only.
I have a house dress.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of chic.
Yeah, I wear like my
That's
little
cool.
slippers, and sometimes I let like handyman in when I do it. When I wear it, and I'm like,
Wait,
this
that's
is
like fulfilling a fantasy. Yeah. You're a perv.
I literally
totally.
I don't want anything to happen, but I sort of am faced with that moment of like, you should have changed before they came. You knew they were coming.
Totally.
Get out of your house dress and put on like maybe a jean.
Yeah. Something.
A jean look,
Something
a jean
complicated.
blazer.
Yeah.
I know. It was sort of weird. Very Betty Draper.
Well, something that I don't own that I know I need to have in my arsenal is like a robe. I feel like a house robe. I think my life would change for the better.
Do you want silk or like terry cloth?
I think I want something soft, not slippery. So I'm going to opt for no silk.
Yeah, I only have silk.
Do you?
Yeah, I've got about 3.
Are you cold?
I think in the morning sometimes I get a bit of a chill, but I think it
Totally.
adds to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Nipples.
Yeah, totally. Okay, something to be said for nipples in a silk. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's kind of nice. Makes me feel kind of connected to my femininity,
Yes.
walking into my power kind of a thing.
Absolutely.
Also the sort of terry cloth robes, I sweat,
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
you know?
I like want something though. It's not like you put that on after the shower.
True, you're not a baby anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're not in bath time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
You have agency.
there's balance.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's so funny that you got these in Vegas because Vegas is an absolutely insane place, and I can't believe you saw Bruno Mars. Because frankly, when I was there, which now I think was 2 or 3 years ago, the last time I was there, it was for work. And Bruno Mars already had his residency. Maybe it was only 2.
Yeah.
And I am not kidding. You couldn't escape him. I
Yeah.
never saw Bruno himself.
Yeah.
But they played him at the Bellagio fountains. So when those fountains are going off, it is to the tune of Uptown Funk You Up.
I have full body chills.
And when I was in the elevator, it would be like an elevator music cover of a Bruno Mars song. When you're in the lobby, like the lounge, the casino, if you will.
Yes.
It's like a woman playing an acoustic Bruno Mars cover. I was like,
Of
this
Chunky.
man is everywhere. It's crazy.
It is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's if Bruno Mars is a prison,
His
lock
impact.
me up and throw away the key. I wouldn't mind a life sentence.
Was this the first time you saw him?
Yes.
Totally.
And I'll never forget it. It was something.
I love that.
It was just, I was taken over mind, body, and soul
That's
by
incredible.
Bruno Mars. Yeah, he was really something.
I mean, that makes sense.
And I'm not much of a rallier, like on St. Patrick's Day, for example.
Totally.
When you all went to a party, I went into REM sleep for 5 hours.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah.
But for Bruno, like we went to this steakhouse before, and right before the show, I literally threw up, like
Yeah,
before
that
Bruno
sucks.
Mars. And I was
That
like, this is so
sucks.
perplexing. But I just wiped my brow, wiped my little lips,
Yeah.
and got back out there. Yeah. For him. And then I threw up
Naturally.
again in the middle and did the same thing. And I didn't miss Versace on the floor, which was an imperative.
God.
Shook my little ass and called it a day.
Naturally.
We can swear.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Explicit. I have to physically mark every episode. It's sort of hilarious. Not for kids.
No, thank you.
Well, and I love that you also went with your family because I think of all the places to vacation with your family, Vegas, that's an insane place to go.
It kind of is like turning it up a notch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely turning the dial to 10.
I could never see my parents in Vegas, I don't think ever, but now I'm sort of inspired to give it a whirl.
Yeah, maybe.
see.
Yeah, maybe jump right in.
Yeah.
My dad had a bad weekend gambling.
Oh, that sucks. That'll put a damper
Sunk
on
about
things.
$1,200 in the hole.
Fuck.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah. I lost about 50.
Yeah. I know. I put like 120 in the slot machine and I was like, well, that's it.
There she goes.
I tried it. I hated it.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah. I sort of don't love losing money.
Yeah, I don't love losing money either. Love to sort of spend it. Love
Same.
kind of the finer
I love
things.
to receive goods in return.
Right, totally.
Yeah, not just kind of like a chance. I'm not much of a risk taker in that way, though. I don't think that's my
Neither am I.
brand.
My mom just like could not stop repeating the whole trip, like, I just can't gamble like this. I just can't gamble like this. And I was like, okay, I get it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Did your family do any of the like? Was it mostly like slots and casino games, or was anyone like hitting the blackjack table?
Yes, hitting the blackjack tables, hitting the 3-card poker.
Totally.
Yeah, oh God. I mean, it literally, my dad kept being like, this dealer is just like fucking me. And I was like, I don't get
Sure, blame
I don't
him.
get what that means.
Yeah.
I know. A poor fisherman always blames his equipment.
Totally.
I
I know nothing about the game, the art of blackjack, but
I know nothing about anything but in on the casino floor, except
Yeah.
for maybe a little bit of a whiskey ginger and the smooth sounds of a jazz singer.
naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I do love that everyone's smoking in there and that's still legal.
Me too. Give me a drag.
Yeah, that's nice.
Totally.
It makes me feel like I've like gone back in the decades.
That's so funny. So when I had my little episode, like the throwing up thing,
Yeah.
the next day I was still feeling a bit tender, a bit fragile.
Totally.
And I had bought a weed pen when my parents were napping. And so I was kind of ripping it when no one was watching me, and it was
Totally.
helping my nausea. And my uncle Chris, he is sober. And so when he says things about like alcohol or drugs, it's sort of funny. And like I always giggle.
Yeah.
And so I was sort of like working through my nausea, and he was like, do you have weed? And I was like, fuck, he smells it. He smells it on me. And I was
Were you
like,
honest?
I was just like, yeah. And he was like, oh, that'll be good for your stomach. And I was like, you dirty dog. I thought I was in trouble. I thought I was in trouble.
That's funny.
So,
How many
yeah.
of you were there?
15.
Oh, fuck.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
kind of a ton.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Totally.
A lot of people.
Well, and Vegas is honestly not a bad place. I mean, it has its ups and downs of going with your parents, but like the drinks are so expensive. So
I
like
know.
that's nice to have
The drinks are so
who might
expensive.
pay.
When we were, so I'm a pool girl. I'm sort of like a little bit
Totally.
of a little fishy.
Pool rat.
Uh-huh. And I was drinking these like big John Daly's or whatever, and they were $33 each.
That's a drink. Okay.
Hmm. It's an Arnold Palmer with vodka in it.
Oh, okay.
It's very refreshing,
That sounds
delightful.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Summer drink.
So I have about 3.
Totally.
And God, the people you meet at the pool, it's just
Totally.
it's a cast of characters. I'm one of 3 sisters for folks at home.
Yes.
And so I met 3 sisters, like who are mothers, like women. And so the oldest one's name was Raquel, and all her friends called her Rock, which I thought was kind of cool.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah. And she was recovering from breast cancer.
Oh, shit.
And had a boyfriend who's like a bodybuilder, and she's not comfortable wearing a swimsuit in front of him.
Damn.
That was her.
That's crazy.
I know. I'm going through the girls. The middle one was Heather. I'm sorry if this is damning, but I hope it doesn't reach them. And she's, I guess, like really wealthy, but like hates her husband. And she spent the whole time, like, we were in the lazy river, and she would just like hitch herself to every man, married, unmarried.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she'd be like, "Hi." It was
that's crazy.
fascinating.
How old?
I want to say like 54 to 45.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah. And the last one,
Okay, girls.
her husband died. The last one, Amy.
Oh, shit.
So like out of the blue, Andre was her husband.
They're going through some things.
It kind of was. It's like Sister of the Traveling Pants. Like every girl brings kind of like something different to the table.
Absolutely. I feel like I could see them rocking these hats.
Me too. They were giggling.
I could see it.
But it was a giggle that could easily turn to a cry.
It's so funny too, like the friend groups like that who are maybe a little bit older and choosing to do their girl trip in Vegas. Like that's a certain flavor of woman.
It definitely is. It certainly is. Yeah.
I know. When we were in Vegas, the only time I went for fun, otherwise I've been a few times for work. I think it's very funny too because Vegas does have it has a lot of working people. Like it has full of fucking conference centers.
For
so like
sure.
but then it's like this giant party outside. And so the sort of dichotomy going on there is very interesting.
I know, it really is sort of whiplash.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
But when we went as friends, it was a very funny group of us, and it was for my friend Kayla's 21st. And my friend Sophia, who you have now met, she got drunk. Everyone was hammered at this point, of course, but we were on our way back to our hotel and walking up like a non-moving escalator. It wasn't working. And she completely busted her toe open and was bleeding all over the lobby of this hotel. And this guy is like following her around with a mop. It was like out of a movie. He was just like literally everywhere she went, kind of scooping up the traces. And she's like sobbing, and she had found some girl's veil because of course tons of bachelorette parties. So she was wearing this girl's veil, and she just takes off the veil and she's like, I don't want to get married anymore.
No.
It was crazy.
Oh God.
It was so crazy. And then she like destroyed her hotel room with blood. It was like actually kind of fucked up.
What sort of blood?
Like literally from her toes. You would not believe how much toes bleed.
Oh my God, I thought you meant like menses.
No. Oh my God, that'd be nuts.
That would be nuts.
That would be more disturbing.
That certainly would be. Oh, from her toes.
Yeah, you would never believe how much they just sort of gush and don't stop.
Did she end up getting married?
No, so she wasn't getting married. She just found a girl's veil.
Oh my God.
And then was like so drunk and crying and in this lobby, and like everyone was, we were all in a bit of a tiff as you do on a girl's trip.
It always sort of happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So funny.
It is so funny. And it's like when everyone's blacked out and then you wake up hungover the next morning and you're like, whatever.
Yeah, you're like, okay, sorry.
We'll just bury it.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Then go to a pool party.
Yeah, in shaky cities.
Yeah. It's a crazy place. Sin City. It's definitely called that for a reason. There was also this insane restaurant that we stopped at. We tried to go to like the old Vegas or the old Strip or something. Disturbing place. Lots of people who were clearly had drug addiction. Sad. Not a very well lit street. It was like probably not that safe. But we thought it was going to be cool and historical.
Of course.
But I was like, this is the pinnacle of America. This is what you would expect. And there was this restaurant where it had this huge entrance and the floor was a scale. And if you were over 400 pounds, you could eat for free.
Oh my God.
Which is sort of fucked up.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of a game, sort of a gimmick.
Yeah.
That's
nuts.
That's something to think about.
It is a disturbing place, to say the least.
Do you like buffets?
I spent a lot of money there. I'm okay with buffets. I never feel like I get my money's worth. So... And I feel like when you do buffet style, the food's never that good.
Right.
But, You get your selection of options.
For sure.
There's something to be said about that.
There certainly is.
Do you like buffets?
Thank you for asking. I would say like sometimes I like dessert buffets.
Dessert buffets,
Like at bat mitzvahs
totally.
and stuff. Like that is so much fun. Oh my God, that's literally so much fun.
I don't mind a wedding buffet where you can kind of have your selection of
like crab leg sort of buffet. That I like.
Delicious.
I like a bagels and lox kind of buffet. But in middle school during choir festival, we'd go to the high school, and then after the choir festival, we'd go to the buffet, Old Country buffet.
Naturally.
And all these little piggies would just stuff their faces. Was that sort of offensive to say? But no, I like all they just like kids.
Totally.
Yeah, and for some reason we always had gym after, and we'd always be doing the mile run, and so every kid was always throwing up.
That sucks.
It was really sort of repulsive. It's sort of like when in a movie when someone gets like their hair chopped off really fast. Like it's disturbing.
I feel like I don't remember anyone throwing up doing the mile. I do remember a lot of people would like get sick during the pacer test. Did you have to do the pacer?
I did do the pacer.
What a disturbing. That's messed up.
It definitely is sort of creepy. It sort of gives ROTC.
Yeah. Why were we doing that? And I do remember at my middle school, we would run the mile, and it was like you would have to go around the block. You did like 1.5 blocks or something. It was very funny, but you would lose, like the teachers would lose sight of you because they're not running it with you. And I remember this boy, Kayvon, if you're listening, he would always wear Heelys and fucking scoot around the corners, and he always won. Little cheater.
Oh my God,
Crazy.
cheater, pumpkin eater.
I never owned a pair of Heelys, but I certainly wanted some.
Neither have I.
I think it's good that I didn't have them.
I think it's good I didn't have them either. I'm not much of a blader myself.
Same.
No.
Yeah.
No. In high school, I dated a football player briefly.
Did you?
Yeah, sort of a
Wow.
glee moment.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so that was cool.
That is cool.
And there was one night where I went over to his home, and he had all his little big football friends over.
Totally.
And they all were gonna blade, and they had like an extra pair.
Oh
So
my God,
I strapped up,
hilarious.
and I fell right down a hill.
Naturally.
On my stomach.
Oh no.
I slid down the hill.
Oh no.
In front of the whole
Like a
football
penguin
team, in front of the whole defensive line.
That's tough.
And now I'm the one planning the 10-year high school reunion.
Totally.
Hello.
The way that is coming up next year
I know.
kind of makes me sick to my stomach.
I know. I think it's going to be sort of interesting for sure.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited.
It's actually funny you bring that up because my parents were just visiting. And I don't know how it came up, but I mentioned that like our reunion is literally next year, and my dad was like, "For what, 5 years?" And I was like, "No, Dad, 10."
Yeah,
and he was
times 2.
That seems impossible, which it sort of does. I feel like I'm equally 5 years out of high school and 5 years out of college.
Yeah,
which doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
mathematically.
No, I think that makes sense. I think that's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm happy to be 10 years removed. I think that's an accomplishment.
Me too. I think we're definitely aging sort of like fine wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be 27.
I am too.
Are you loving it?
I am loving it. I think there's really good things ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes me feel like a little cooler, a little spicier.
Totally.
A little, yeah.
I remember when like friends' older siblings were turning like this age, like 27, and I was like, fuck, that's old. Like that's close to 30.
I know.
But now I'm kind of like, I'm not mad.
Close to 30.
Yeah.
I know.
30 sounds awesome.
I know. 30 does sound awesome.
I can't remember who it was now. I think it was somebody at Mackenzie's birthday party. It was like, 30 is your 20s, but you have money.
Oh, yeah. That pretty girl, Julie.
Like, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like heaven.
Yeah, I know. Literally. She had that like cowboy hat on. I was like, if imagine that was so Sheryl Crow.
Yes, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was gorgeous.
Gorgeous girl.
And I think she was already 30.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
She seemed to be speaking from lived experience.
Literally.
She was talking from the gut.
Yeah. And I trust her with my life.
Me too.
So that's going to be awesome for us.
The beach was Liddy McTitty.
Oh my God, it was so fun. It was so fun, and it was actually nice because the first time that we went, were you there? No, you weren't.
I don't think so. No, that was
oh my God, it was
Memorial
ice cold.
Day. Yeah.
Yeah. You were enjoying a different lake.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I was like
probably a warmer one.
I did jump in to take, a PISS,
Yeah,
but
naturally.
it was frigid.
So I had to I like obviously went pee in the lake as you do.
It's kind of just one of the spice of life.
But there were so many kids that I had to go out so far. And then I had my little drink when I went out there, and I didn't know what to do to make it, because I was at this point, I'm very far out away from all of the friends,
right.
trying not to have anybody downstream. And so I'm like taking my high noon and just kind of looking at it like this, as if that would somehow
hold it to the light,
be a good disguise. Yeah. So I don't know what that is. But then I saw James go out, and he actually took his literal digital camera and he was pretending to take pictures. Oh, which I was like, that's an interesting one.
While his like lower half was in the water.
Yeah, while
peeing.
He's quite literally releasing. Yeah.
Is that sort of like unethical? That seems strange. I don't know. I don't know.
That might be.
Makes you wonder.
It does. Maybe we could find a way to like sue him or
I don't know, definitely. Yeah. Lock him up.
Well, he didn't take any, but he was like pretending, and he was like, "It's like the perfect. No one has a clue." And I'm like,
Master
they
of
might.
disguise.
They might.
Pistachio disguisey.
But it was fun to be on the beach. I feel like it's interesting. Madison had beaches, but I never went to them.
Yeah.
And like, there's beach culture here, like for sure. People go.
No, beach culture, it's strong. The pulse is strong.
Which is nice. I love the beach.
I love the beach.
I got a little sunburned. I was like, it's only right.
A little bit crispy, a little bit toasty, roasty.
And it was like comfortable to go in the water. You gotta love it.
You just really gotta love it. And we had cake on the beach. That was so
awesome.
delightful.
Mine did get like literally caked in sand, but
yeah,
that's okay.
My
little crunch.
Yeah. She's going on Hinge dates. My recent Hinge date commented on the sand cake, and I was like, "Oh, so funny,
hilarious,
cute."
I feel like Hinge. From all the apps that I hear, Hinge is the one. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I think people are very sincere.
That's nice
in that space. A lot of people are.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but some people. This is really. I almost don't want to say this.
You don't have to.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. This is going to sound just so awful, but it's like sometimes you get people that like your photo and it shows like who liked you. Sure. And you're sort of like, I'm sorry, like in what world?
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I definitely like being 27 because I certainly have more self-respect, and I'm
absolutely.
I'm like, okay, nice.
I can be picky if I want.
Yeah, like let's be choosy. Yo soy un premio. Like I am the prize,
totally.
as they say in
louder.
Yeah, literally, as Bad Bunny would say.
Yeah.
But
there is something to be said about that.
So,
I do like that, just for the sake of like. The amount of self-confidence I have is so much more than any year prior.
I know.
And I feel like that's just going to keep escalating.
It's just going to keep going up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
I hope so too.
I do love Hinge's marketing though. Even if that's not true, like the app to be deleted, that's genius.
It really is. It's a very hopeful message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I think it does annoy me when sort of like an Ugaboo Bugaboo likes me on Hinge, because it's kind of like, I don't know, as women, maybe I'm taking too general of a stance. I oftentimes think like just sometimes it's like I would never go for like someone like, you know, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger type ass, like hi, like what's up? I love your picture. Like I would never fucking, and I get these fucking creatures, I'm sorry, being like, you've got a great smile. And I'm like, can you leave me alone?
Yeah.
Literally, in what world?
Blocked.
I know, I'm kind of like, that's crazy.
Bye.
But then even saying that out loud, I'm like, I'm being such a bitch. Like everyone's just trying to find love. I know. Like
I think it's okay.
Oh my God.
You're like, what do you think? I was going to delete the app for you, sir?
I know. I'm like, babe.
Yeah.
No, but there's hope yet. I'm feeling definitely hopeful.
Do you feel like the like stereotypes about the apps are true? Like Tinder's for hooking up?
So
in your experience.
In my experience. Okay, so in college, I went through when me and our mutual friend broke up. I went on like a
totally.
in early colegio. I went on a bit of a tear, and I kind of just like ripped through the town vaginally.
Yeah. Totally open for business, baby.
So sick. But those men, I was sort of soliciting through Bumble.
Okay.
But I was being so just.
Well, and I feel Bumble's the one where woman has to reach out.
Yes.
Okay.
I was in just sort of like a bull in a china shop phase where I was like, hi.
Totally.
Hey. It was so ungraceful. There's this
I
book.
like that, though.
Yeah. I mean, there's this book called Want Me by like Tracy Clark Fiore, I think is her name. We read it for book club like last year. And she was talking about being young and like sexuality in her early 20s. And she said, like she thinks back to how often she would like throw herself at people and be like, take me,
Sure.
love me.
Sure.
Like just like her. It's so sad to think about a little bit, like being at bars.
I mean, if I even think about like in non-sexual ways,
Right.
I do that.
I know.
Or I used to a lot.
Oh my
with
God,
like
I know.
people who I didn't need to, like it didn't matter if they loved me.
I know.
Yeah.
And it like takes so much energy.
It does.
I guess that's therapy.
Truly.
That's sort of the thesis statement of why we're kind of, you know,
Straight up.
literally doing all that.
It's hard to be alive.
It's really hard, but it's a beautiful blessing
It
from
is.
God above.
I am having fun for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. And I think that's all our founding fathers would hope for.
They sort of signed off on that. The pursuit of happiness, if you will.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's been, I think something so awesome about getting older is just like how much, well, I care about that stuff less. And then obviously because you don't care about it as much, like I'm obviously not seeking it out. And so I feel like all the friends that I have now, like those friendships are so much more real.
Right.
Which is awesome. I mean,
is
that's kind of the
awesome.
whole point of having a friend.
No, I totally. So on Friday, Mackenzie and Evan came over for like summer Friday or whatever. And I had all this new art and a frame fell on my big toe.
Oh, totally.
A lot's happening with my big toe lately.
Dude, kind of same. I have ingrowns.
It's, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I will call upon my prayer warriors. That is just a fate worse than death.
It sucks.
I'm sorry to hear that.
They're a sort of chronic thing. I actually think I need to get surgery, but I'm scared.
Oh my God, go under the knife.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, praying for you.
But what's up with your toes?
Oh, right. Well, basically in October, like before I went to New York, dropped my full ass laptop on my big toe.
Ow.
And then the frame fell on my big toe.
What are the odds?
And I just sort of like bent over and grabbed both of their hands and just...
Oh my God, that's crazy. But I sort of love it.
I was like... And then I just like grabbed their hands and I was like, I just have to...
Oh, fuck. That's crazy.
And then I was like, oh my God, that is such a crazy thing to do. But I was like, I don't want to cry.
I mean, I cry anytime I get hurt.
embarrassing.
I cry so easily, it's not funny. Like, it sucks.
That sucked. And we've been sort of like smoking a little doobie-doo. So I felt insane. I was like, I'm going to lay down
Yeah.
for like a few minutes. So I laid down.
Like in a separate room?
I lay down in my bed. And I was
Totally.
like, you guys, I'm going to lay down.
Yeah.
And then they sort of like made themselves busy for maybe like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I got back up.
That makes sense.
Knock me down 9 times, get back up 10.
I
as
love that
Cardi
about
would say.
you.
Thank you.
I know there were like, I used to get hit by flying objects a lot. So I feel like I understand your pain because I can remember several times where like basketballs or, you know, other things that are soaring in the air. I feel like it was usually something related to a sport
Yeah.
would like smack me in the fucking head. And the way that, one, obviously that hurts, maybe not enough to bring you to tears, but something also about like the embarrassment of
Oh
that.
my God, it's just humiliating.
Yeah. So I'm immediately crying.
It's completely humiliating.
It's just sort of a human reaction.
You should call your memoir Hit by Flying Objects
That's smart.
or something like
Wait,
that.
I like that.
Yeah, that has a nice ring to it.
I don't know how it always happens to me, but I am kind of always in the way.
Yeah.
So that'll happen.
Yeah. Get in the way, take up your space.
Literally.
Baby girl.
On the courts.
On the court, yeah.
On the courts, the fields.
I love it there.
Same. It was actually so fun attending your most recent volleyball game.
Yes.
One, I think you guys are the only team with a cheer squad.
Oh, it was just so like magnificent to have a cheer squad. Such a
it's, like,
beautiful
very
one at
fun.
that. It's so fun.
It kind of blows my mind that there are that many people playing volleyball, and then that's every single night of the week.
Isn't that insane?
People love the sport.
Everyone wants community.
That's something that's nice, actually.
I think it's really nice.
Yeah.
I find volleyball to be like a lesson in growth mindset.
Love that.
I've never played volleyball in my life.
So I did freshman year, but I'm not very good.
Oh, we can get your ass on the court.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last
Well,
week, we had no subs.
Oh, I
and,
know.
there she was.
Hands
in the
down
sand,
in terms
hands
of
down.
volunteering. Intramural sports I'm sort of against, but now that I kind of see that
The appeal.
it's fun and you guys don't, not to say you're bad by any means, but I think it's no one's mean
Say
to
that
each
again?
other, you know?
Yeah.
Which is not the way it was like in high school, for example.
Yeah, that's very important to me. In
Yeah.
high school, me and Annie were on the same flag football team.
Oh shit.
And I felt like our like
Wait, that's kinda
for
cool.
Powder Puff,
Okay.
I felt like
Sure.
our team was sort of like, I don't know how to describe it, like sort of just any girl who didn't really have a team to be on it. We had like this sort of ragtag
Totally.
team.
That's nice.
And it was fun. And we had like all these, oh my God, I hit the cat tower with my elbow. I'm gonna put my head on it. We had these 3 like sort of dorky boys be our coach.
Totally.
And it was sort of funny.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Was it competitive?
I didn't feel particularly competitive. I think I sort of like the energy of it.
Yeah.
I didn't get upset or anything.
Because I think for me, and I don't know, I mean, I attribute a lot of it to honestly probably being an only child and not having to compete for much. I'm not a competitive person.
She's a pacifist.
Yeah, literally. So it doesn't come naturally to me to sort of like lose myself in a sport.
Yeah.
And I do run from the ball. I have
Right.
been hit many a time.
Right.
So
Hit by Flying Objects by Samantha.
literally, Miss Georgeson.
Yeah.
So, but it was very fun, and I feel like even the other team.
They complimented how much fun we were having.
I
They were
know.
like, yeah, that was really sweet.
Well, it was so funny too because of course they get on our side, and then Luke says to them something along the lines of like, "Whoever wins gets to fuck me." And I was like, "That's crazy."
That's so funny.
I don't think they knew what to do with him.
I bet that was sort of something.
Yeah,
but
because he was like, "We're cheering for you guys now."
yes.
So that's funny.
So Aubrey, gorgeous Chicago gal,
Yes.
had her birthday party this year, and it was a 5K. Called
I like am obsessed with the fact that she made you all run.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, I walked.
Yeah.
That's how I met Norman.
I know. I love Norman.
Yeah, he was sort of a caboose with me. But it was called the Thought Trot, and the prize for the Thought Trot was the winner gets to kiss the birthday girl.
Totally.
Unfortunately, her older brother won the race.
Oh,
So
totally.
when I was
Wait, that's funny.
so when I was on my walk on the 5K, I sort of was like, "So you gonna kiss a sister?"
That's funny.
He didn't.
Yeah. He was
can-
like, I'll
I
give
can
up my
tell you for a
prize.
fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think
that-
I wouldn't have tried very hard if I were him.
Yeah, neither. I mean, he was first place by a mile, so I was like, "Do you want
Oh.
to kiss her?"
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm
Are
kidding.
you obsessed with your sister?
I'm kidding.
That's funny.
I'm just speaking from jealousy.
I have a couple friends who would like, I don't think they've ever even had the conscious thought of I could make people run a 5K on my birthday, but if that little secret gets out, I see a couple 5Ks in my future,
Yeah.
for better or for worse.
LOL. I'm having a flashback to someone on Hinge. They put like what I look for in a person, and it was like like a life dedicated to fitness, not
Oh.
like bodybuilder fitness. Think turkey trot fit.
Oh, that's cute.
And so I was sort of like, that's kind of cute.
That's cute.
Turkey trot fit.
Do love a turkey trot.
I mean, that was an X for me. I'm not turkey trot fit. I'm more of,
Sure.
12, 330 fit.
I understand.
Lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of same. I know I haven't been working out at all, which like
But you got a tight little body.
Normally I like don't care about it, but like I need to go outside more. I'm feeling maybe like that's something I need to be doing.
Because you're chained to the rhythm. You're like,
Yeah.
you're on that laptop, you're taking calls,
Yeah.
you're making deals.
And I will say now that I work from home all the time, which for the most part I do really like, but there is something sinister about getting out of bed and immediately hopping on my laptop.
Oh, the word is sinister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's completely
That's
sinister.
a bad feeling.
Yeah. This morning, I'm a procrastinator, so I left a bunch of
Same,
work.
girl, same.
So I was sort of eyes open 3 a.m. like we're hitting
I know.
the laptop.
And you're here.
And I'm
Thank you for
oh my
coming.
god, totally. But it's all my own doing.
I know. I'm the
It's
same.
masochistic. I think that's the right
Yeah.
use of that word.
Yes, it is.
Because then I'm in this space and I'm like, this is all you.
I know.
It's all you, girl.
I know. You have no one else to blame.
No one did it to you but yourself.
And that sucks because I'm kind of the same. Like, and I also feel like the way that work is, like sometimes it's really hard, so you have to work a ton, but then on the days where it's light and I realistically could finish all my things, I don't.
Right.
And it's like, what is the science behind that?
Yeah.
So it sucks. Motivation is sort of a hard thing to come by, I think.
Motivation is a finite resource.
For sure.
Yeah. So, yeah.
We're screwed.
I'm definitely mining it. Like, yes.
Literally same. I know
Like
I had someone ask
gold.
me at work recently, like, what are you motivated by? And I was like, girl, your guess is as good as mine.
I know, like, literally, what
This
am I
paycheck
motivated?
isn't cutting it.
I know. You're like, 'cause it's certainly not this paycheck.
Yeah.
God, what am I motivated by?
It's tough. I said more days off.
Oh, funny.
I have more time to rest and relax is how I phrased it.
I
but
know, a bit more R&R would
Yeah.
be nice.
Doesn't that just sound like heaven?
Oh my God, literally.
I also, it was crazy. Obviously, my parents were here and stuff, which is like a lot maybe on James. Loves them to death. He's very gracious about it too. He was like, they're basically my parents at this point, so it's no biggie. And I was like, that's a really nice thing to say because
That's
if your
super
parents
sweet.
stayed for the weekend, it'd be crazy.
Yeah.
And I love them too, but like, that's hard.
Right.
So, but yeah, and obviously, I mean, and my mom, love her to death. That woman takes up space. Her things, her personality, her presence. And we like woke up in the morning and I can't remember if it was beach day or the next day. Regardless, we had like a full weekend of plans. And he was like, I am just so tired. I can't remember the last day I woke up and was like, what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, kind of same, which I
Right.
definitely keep the schedule tight and packed.
Yeah.
Which is typically how I like it.
Right.
But it does catch up to you.
It certainly does.
It's hard to take time to just like chill. I never do that.
I really don't do that either.
Yeah.
It's one of my fatal flaws.
Totally.
I'm always booking all my shit a week out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I got this to do, this to do,
I
this to
know.
do. Yeah.
And it's nice to like get out of the house and stuff. But yeah, I think at a certain point you're like, would love to just like stay in bed.
I know. I honestly need to sort of like
You have to like schedule
it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are a busy woman.
Oh my God.
It sort of blows my mind sometimes.
It's sort of just, I don't even know what to do about it.
Yeah.
I'm
It's like
kinda-
activities,
It's activities.
Yeah.
It's activities.
which is nice.
It's nice.
Keeps you busy.
I have to
Extremely.
say, I know. I have to say, I'm in this phase in my life now, though, where it's like, I love my place.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Because then you like want to be in it.
I want to be in
Yeah.
it, and I want to be like, I want to relax. I want to
Yeah.
I want to build a home.
Your apartment is gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm just fucking loving it.
Yeah.
I love it.
There is something to be said too about like paying more in rent where you're like, I'm going to get my money's worth.
Oh, she's getting her money's worth.
Yeah.
Honey.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me too, because I don't leave for work, because how many days are you going in now?
3.
Yeah. So at least, then I feel like sometimes you want to go home after work
Oh my God, I'm just begging for it.
versus the laptop closes and I'm like, what the hell do I do now?
I know. You.
So it's crazy,
It's crazy out here.
but it's good. I think there's so much more to do here too, just in general.
In Tri-City.
This is a massive city.
Yeah.
Like
it's just
it's
full
endless.
It's endless.
It's funny too. I was talking to James recently because I was like, I don't really know how to decide which events are the cool events to go to because there are like 10 happening every weekend
Right.
versus in Madison there's like one and everyone's there.
Literally. I know.
So it's a unique problem to have.
It's
I'm not
sort
mad
of-
about it.
No, it's just an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah.
It really is a gorgeous city.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, we can live like kings here.
And I feel like we do.
I think we literally do.
It's like awesome, just like all the people we've met so far and all of the like I think it's nice that people like to do things that are creative or like even if drinking or whatever is involved, it's usually around something versus
Right.
just going out. And I sort of love that.
I love that too.
Yeah.
No, I definitely think
'Cause,
like,
like I'll have a beverage.
of course. Oh my God.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, seriously, don't get me wrong.
But there's just like something nice about that not being the only point.
Right.
So that's nice.
I agree with you.
Like even when we went to Evan's house and he was like, we're having dinner and I have a surprise and it was bracelet making.
I know,
was like, that's
friendship
genius.
bracelets. That was so cute.
Yeah.
No,
So I sort of love that.
some of the shit we do, I'm like, this is a movie.
I know, same.
So funny.
Where are the camera crews?
I know, literally, I'm like, come on out. It's just so sweet.
It is sweet. It's very wholesome.
It's so wholesome.
and it's like fulfilling, which
Yeah.
rocks.
I know, it really is like very special.
I owe a lot of that to you.
Oh,
And like,
Wow.
I'm not even trying to like blow smoke up your ass. You really just invite people in.
Oh,
It's great.
That's funny.
I think it's a beautiful quality to have.
Thanks.
And because you're so busy, you keep me busy. It's awesome.
Oh my God, let's keep it going. No, that's definitely, I'm in this phase right now in my life where it's like, I'm definitely putting concentrated effort into defining my value system.
Yeah.
And
That's big. That
Yeah.
takes like work, and you have to really sit down and think about what you care about.
I just want to be like a more consistent version of like my
Sure.
best self in a way that's not like whatever, toxically positive or something.
Yeah.
And I do love bringing people together, and that's something I'm not always perfect at it, and I'm certainly you know,
Totally.
like it's not a fixed trait by any means, but
I don't think there's a perfect way to do it anyway.
right, it's just something I do value. I think how this all has gone down and the way that like we've developed these connections with each other, it's truly just such a special aspect of
It
my
feels
life.
very magic, which is so dramatic to say, but
No.
like it's awesome.
It really is. It's just, I don't know. I just think to have these friendships at this age right now,
Totally.
it's very special. It's very, we're all kind of taking care of each other in different ways.
And I feel like that's another part of like why I'm excited to be 27. Like I just feel like my life has never been quite like this.
I know.
Which I mean, granted, it was like high school, then college, and then like pandemic. So I think there was also that component. But like I just feel so established.
Right.
Which is really nice.
It is really nice.
And I think it's just so fun. There's so much to do here. There are so many like people who are down to hang.
Right.
And I mean, everyone's creative. Everyone has really unique and cool interests.
Right.
I think everyone really like values those, even if it's not something they participate in. We're going to somebody's show. We're going to somebody's like gallery opening, whatever it is. And
Right.
it's like, that's really cool. I
It is
feel
cool.
sort of adult.
I know.
So I'm sort of loving that.
I'm loving it.
It's great.
It's sick.
What would you say, like, as some of your other like value defining work? Like what?
Oh, fun question. Yeah, I think it's because I'm like dating and I'm also trying to like, with my job, I think to succeed in corporate America, you have to be consistent
Totally.
in like personally and professionally, in the sense that like you're great at your job, like just showing up in a technical way, but then also being
Yeah.
consistent in like the persona you bring. And I think some days I'm just like super annoyed by like the whole
Sure.
thing, and I come across as sort of like moody, and people say like no, but I'm sort of like sometimes I'm not into it. I don't really
Yeah.
want to do it, and I think that's just immaturity.
I feel that way too, though.
Yeah.
So thank you. But I mean, literally, I had that today. I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Working was the last thing I felt like doing. I got on a couple meetings and got pissed.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Right. And but then sometimes I put like a ton of work. Everything I do always gets done.
Yeah.
Like it's at the end of the day, every project's always finished. Some are better than others, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, I just think to excel in like a corporate setting, there's a
Totally.
rhythm to it, and there's sort of an
Very
anticipation
much
to
so.
it.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you fall out of rhythm, I think
Especially in agency life or whatever, because it's happening so fast too.
yeah. And I'm honestly, I mean, right now I'm off the grid, which we can talk about separately.
Totally.
But it's like, I'm not good with tech, really. Like, not to be a cop out girl.
Sure.
But it's like, I always have the wrong fonts on Keynote.
Sure.
I don't know, like, how to find shit on the server.
Yeah.
Like, I waste time. And because I'm like, I don't know how to do these things, and I don't learn them.
Yeah.
And it's starting to piss people off.
For sure.
And so I'm like, so Jessica Mindrum, gorgeous girl, friend of the pod. She has this great song called Jesus Christ. And one of the lyrics, basically the song is about her like living at home and kind of like thinking about like what shape will my future take, etc.
Yeah.
And so she's like going into her late 20s, and one of the choruses repeats like, it's not cute anymore to fall apart. And I'm sort of like,
Damn,
oh
that's,
boy.
yeah, that sort of hits
Yeah,
home, maybe.
yeah. And so I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, it definitely isn't.
Yeah.
And I think this whole sort of like kooky, like funny, girly pop nation is great, but I gotta like, It's time to grow up, girly girl. Like, come on.
I know. I think that's a hard thing to realize. I think it's also interesting though, because for me, that comes out in different ways. Like at work, for example, I actually am pretty good at keeping that component together, but then like at home, like I log off a meeting and like I'm a nightmare probably to James, and it's like that sucks too.
Right.
That also makes me feel bitter towards my job,
Right.
because I'm like, at what cost
Right.
does like work? I saw something the other day. It was like a tweet, or maybe it was on like fucking TikTok or something, where someone was like, why would work get the best version of me?
Right.
And I was like, yeah, that sucks.
That
I think
suck.
that's shitty. Like
Right.
work obviously needs a good version because you have to be professional and whatever, and you're getting paid to do this. But kind of the rest of the relationships I have in my life are more important to me.
Right.
So like, where's the balance?
I know.
And it's very hard to find.
Oh, it's so hard
I don't
to
have it
find.
yet.
My boss, Kevin, I think I've told you this before. His whole thing is like high engagement, low attachment.
That's like really smart.
And it's just sort of so hard to do, but it's kind of it. Because,
I like don't know how to do that.
Neither do I, because once you sort of get on like a tear or whatever and you're like working, like, I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
It's hard not to get attached.
And like, I want to strike the right balance, because I know if I did a job that I actually didn't care about, I don't think I could wake up every day and do that for 40 hours a week. I really don't.
Right.
But I don't want to care about it too much either, because like it's at the end of the day, it's just a paycheck. It's not fulfilling me in any way, shape, or form.
It's just tough because it's like I love doing stuff. I love going to restaurants.
Same, I love it.
I just
have a
love
certain
it.
lifestyle I need to uphold.
And that's the issue.
I know.
I wish I was a little pauper.
Yeah, straight
who just
up.
loved a can of beans in the sun. I love
maybe
the
another
sun,
life.
but I want to be at the pool.
Yeah, with a drink in my hand.
Yeah.
And something expensive on.
Totally. And my Cartier.
Literally, in my Louis Vuitton hat.
Nothing else.
Straight up. So yeah, it's tough.
It's hard out here.
It is.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining me on this pod.
Oh my God. It's over already.
I mean, it doesn't have to be.
Oh no, that's okay.
But I would love to have you back on soon.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like we just made a full circle moment, and I try to take advantage of those.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course.
You're the
best. Grace was on forever ago, and then I moved here, and it's only natural that we do an in-person app. You're going to be a regular, if you will.
Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Do you feel good here?
Oh, I feel amazing
Maybe
here.
we have to wear these every time.
I know. Samantha may or may not have been conceived on this very futon.
We still don't know. I actually will have to ask my parents, and I think it'll make them incredibly uncomfortable.
I feel great about it.
Yeah. I sort of came from this, you know? So that's awesome.
The house that built you.
Truly. Well, an exercise I want to do, because it's half the time I forget. Rose and a thorn.
Okay.
Of your day. Rose, thorn, and bud.
Okay. Rose, thorn, and bud. The rose was probably the rest of my arc I put up in my apartment.
Fuck yeah.
And I was walking.
Art is so important.
Beyond.
Yeah.
And I've got this big mango piece that like it was my grandpa's house. And so it's very special. Makes me think of him.
She literally went home to go grab it, hang it up, came back.
Yeah. Baby.
Incredible.
Come on. And having all the art up makes me just think of my high school self being like, girl, live in a big city. And now here I am living in the clouds.
There is something about that.
It's pretty powerful.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Thorn was probably just my horrible procrastination habit.
Totally.
Having to wake up at 3 a.m. and just kind of like start.
I mean, that fucking sucks.
That sucks. And that's so stupid. So yeah, I'm going to kind of go home, probably like take a bath and eat a bunch of ice cream or something.
Dude, do you have a tub?
Oh my God. Do I
I
have
don't think
a tub?
I knew you had a tub. That's awesome.
You want to go in it?
Kind of.
Yeah, I love
That's the one thing this place doesn't have is a bathtub.
Yeah, literally.
Can't soak.
Oh,
Bummer.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Truly.
bud, I guess, is just like trying my best every day, you know? Just
Absolutely.
taking this life and knowing thyself and loving thyself.
I think that's kind of everything right there.
Yes,
Truly.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I think that's the other interesting thing too about like getting older is you try so much harder to get to know yourself, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's just not work that I was like doing when I was younger because I was trying so hard just to fucking fit in.
Right.
Which is only natural. I mean, I
Right.
think that's like Darwinism or something. But
Yeah. No, today when we were doing the focus groups for Michael's Crafts, Don't Tell, there was this...
Don't tell.
Don't
Secret.
tell them. Don't tell your mama.
I'm dying.
one of the makers, her name was like, let's say Suzanne, and she had this
Suzanne.
Yeah, she had this shop called like Empower Art Studio because she had like pancreatic cancer and like painting got her through it. It's actually a serious story.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like giggling. As my Louis Vuitton is like shining in the light. But she was like, when you go through something so hard, you really have to like get real with yourself and think through like, what do I need to do to like survive and like thrive in my life? Like, what do I actually need to do?
Totally.
And so I feel like right now we're getting like pretty real.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's not cute anymore to fall apart. Like no more fucking around.
Totally.
Like what do I need to do?
I know.
And do it.
It's so crazy too because doing the work sucks, and it does kind of take like having some sort of reckoning with yourself, big or small or anything in between. And it's not like you're ever just gonna make one mistake, but I feel like once you hit 25, you know, you made a couple mistakes. You're at a point where you've made some mistakes.
Of course.
And it's like real life versus like, you know, a fight with your friends at school.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, whether it's work, personal relationships, anything, your parents, like literally so many things. And I feel like I'm experiencing that a little bit too, where it's like I have to get serious about what I care about and, you know, kind of focus on that.
I have to get a little serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like hard to come to that understanding, but it's also fun to be serious.
I think so too.
So there's like a balance to strike.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely getting really excited about the prospect of like, not to be creepy, but like building a family of my own. Like, I just think, I don't know, at work, we were reading all these articles about how like millennials, older Gen Z or whatever, they're beholden to their parents' traditions until they have kids of their own.
Yeah.
Which like, that sucks, but it's reality.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. And I just kind of want to like make my little traditions and like do like little activities. Like that just sounds really nice.
Yeah.
And Donna's great.
I don't think there's anything wrong with
that.
I
know. I think it's sort of like, I think I spend so much time, this is what I'm working on in therapy, like so much time curating this sort of maybe like aloof or like like purposeful distance kind of like thing, even though I'm I'm a lover and like I love the people I love.
You are.
Yeah, like I really love the people I love. But I think I thought like wanting things like a family or whatever was so sincere, it was almost like tacky.
Sure.
And I think I just spent maybe going to Madison's. My sister Rose is always like, Madison is full of pick-me girls. And I was like, she's honestly not wrong.
No, she's not.
She's like, it's either like total like hottie cheerleader, like pick me, or like hipster, like I know more than you, like pick me. Like it's 100%. All pick me. And I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
And so now we're, you know, 27 or whatever, and it's like I actually do want to like drive the kids to soccer. Normal. Yeah, like I kind of want to do that, and I want to go to Disney World, and like
totally,
that's not lame. Like that's a really beautiful and like worthy pursuit of one's time. So like enjoy it, bitch. Like I don't know. So
no, I fully hear you on that too. I used to even think like, you know, I used to look down on like people who moved out to the burbs or like did any of those things, and it's like, just live your life. If that speaks to you and you want to get a dog in a backyard, like who am I to yuck somebody else's yum?
I know.
So,
and I think back on times where I know I have like yuck people's yum, and I think it's like such an ugly quality.
Yeah, and I think it's like in the process of trying to define what you like, you don't need to shit on other people's stuff.
Totally.
Like you just really don't have to.
You just transported me to senior year of college. We had this party and there was this like a cappella guy there. I forget his name, but he was from Kohler, Wisconsin, where like they make the toilets.
Totally.
And he was like laughing at, I think like Ross or like Edie or something about like liking Camila Cabello. And we literally jumped down this motherfucker's throat. We were like, get out! Like this, you come into our house and you're like we kicked him out of the party. Like we wouldn't stand for it. Yeah. Mob mentality.
Case, yeah.
It was sick.
Something similar happened. Now you've met both Sophia and Ruth. Maybe this isn't similar, but it is a time that we bullied a friend. And Ruth said she was getting donuts on her way over. which I thought meant donuts for everyone.
Yeah.
And then Ruth comes in with it doesn't relate at all, but it made me think of it. Ruth comes in with just a donut for herself, and it was almost all gone. And me and Sophia, literally, it's just the three of us. And we like had her in a corner, and we were like, how could you? It was like crazy.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. And Ruth was like, what is going on?
Oh my God.
Like,
Lord of the Flies.
So that will happen.
That will happen.
And sometimes you just kind of lose your cool.
You do. It's human nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's time to get serious.
Yeah. That's time to go Lord of the Flies on your girl's ass.
Yeah. And so now we're doing work to be a better person.
Yeah, we really are.
Well, I'll do mine. I would say today was honestly a bit of a humdrum day, but my parents were still here this morning. I said bye to them around 10 a.m.
Do you like kiss them on the cheek, or are you like just a hugger?
I mean, my mom kind of is like a press her cheek to your cheek and go mwah really loudly in your ear kind of girl.
Totally.
So we do lots of that. And it was just kind of like nice, like waking up with my parents in my house. Like, you know, I don't do that with them a ton anymore. And it feels very adult to be able to host my own parents in my home. Like I've never had an apartment where there's even been enough room. I'm very surprised that they want to sleep on this. We offered up our own bed. I'm not an insane person.
Right.
But they said no. So, but I mean, this is kind of their bread and butter.
Right. I mean, it's the love shack.
Sick. But yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of nice, like making a big old pot of coffee and sitting around the table. I was like supposed to take a couple meetings in the morning, but my mom was being so loud and obnoxious. I was like, there was no way in hell.
Oh my God.
But it was like fun.
Totally.
Sent them off on their merry way. So it was like fun to have them here this weekend and stuff. I would say that was for sure my rose.
Cute.
My thorn was definitely just, I got so grumpy at work today. It was actually sort of unbelievable. I don't know what happened. I actually had horrible Sunday scaries last night. And like something about that, like I just know I'm going to have a bad day at work. I like set myself up to fail. And I do that kind of a lot, which again is like you care too much about your job. And for what?
Right.
Like,
literally.
And there wasn't even anything to be nervous about. I think I kind of just didn't want to do it. I was just feeling very bitter towards work all day. Obviously a huge bummer. And not even really my work's fault. I just was grumpy. And then I would say something I'm really trying to get over. Like I'm just trying to like not think about work when I'm not doing it. I want to shut my laptop at 5:30 and just like move on with my life. Because I feel like sometimes, honestly, like getting stressed about work is like a paralyzing feeling where I'm not actually doing anything productive to do something about it. I'm not actually working harder or on something that would save me time the next day. I'm just stressed. And I find that's also time then that I completely just waste on my phone. I just watch TikToks. I like binge them as a weird coping mechanism or something, and it's not fun. And then I also feel like nor am I doing something good for work, but I'm also not doing anything good for my own personal self, where I'm like reading a fucking book, watching a show I've been wanting to watch. Like it's like, what is the point of that? Yeah. And then it's just wasted time, and then I get up and do it all over again the next day. It's messed up.
Purgatory.
So we're trying really hard not to do that anymore. Even like on my lunch breaks, like just grab a book and sit down. Don't look at your phone.
Right.
So I admire you for being off the grid.
Oh my God.
I haven't found a way to like delete anything yet, but I'm trying to reduce some screen time.
I know that like, but I mean, for this machine of the podcast to work, obviously like Instagram is crucial. Right now I am giving nilch to my hobbies.
Totally.
We're doing like a performance series at work, but it's not like I'm doing stand up or anything.
Sure.
I'm focusing literally on just like going to the pool and like not being
And that is its own form
angry.
of enrichment.
Yeah, totally. And so
I think that not being angry is sort of like the key. I need some of that right now.
Just finding peace.
Yeah. Sounds like heaven.
Yeah. And I just
would love some of that.
Right. No, being off Instagram's been nice. I think I was getting really caught up in like the parasocial relationships of it all.
Totally.
And I was like placing
it's easy to do
things on people when like we don't even really it was just weird.
Even if I think about how much less I'm like, and not to like shit on anybody who still does this, because I like get why it's fun sometimes and stuff. I just like feel so much less of a need to like post while I'm out, like put something on my stories, you know? And I used to just do that all the time.
Right.
So yeah, kind of even trying to find that balance because like on the one hand, I still like enjoy to consume social media sometimes. But yeah, recently I've just been like, is this fun? I like genuinely don't know.
Yeah, I can't. I don't
Wait,
know.
am I having fun?
Yeah, like, is this fun?
Yeah.
And I was even thinking about this pod, like, I'll probably, I don't know, I want to share it. Do I like
Totally.
reactivate? Like, I don't know.
I know. Well,
I
you're on
guess we'll
Facebook.
see.
I'll post her on there.
I'll do Facebook. Yeah, we also, yeah.
This one's
I'll
for
do
Grace.
FB and Pinterest.
Love. Hilarious. I don't think Pessimistic has made its way to Pinterest yet. So
Oh, and I have Snapchat still.
that could be something. I know. I check Snapchat on the rare occasion, and I'm kind of like, I don't know why I'm here.
Right. Snapchat's a little
Snapchat's
trashy.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know why it is, but I agree.
Yeah.
But I have some friends who are like, I would never, ever, ever post my Instagram stories, but then they post a Snapchat. And I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Because I think I would never do that.
Ever.
But anyway, thanks for coming on this pod. Well, we'll have to do this again soon. It's only natural. You look great with the mic.
Thanks.
You look great in your hat.
You too, girl. Thanks for having me.
And thank you guys for listening. I'm reaching very closely to my end of season, so that will be perhaps some time to not be angry.
Yeah, totally.
And be off the grid. But in the meantime, enjoy this app. Like, review, rate, subscribe. Do your thing. And I love you guys so much. I'll be back again next week. Bye. Another cathartic convo in the books. I feel better. How about you? Thank you so much for listening. Now I just want to jump on here and say, don't forget to follow and or subscribe to the pod on your favorite streaming platform for new episodes every single week, because I know you can't get enough of me. Additionally, if you want to gain access to exclusive episodes and lots of other goodies, join our Patreon and support the pod with your hard-earned American dollars. You can find the link in our show notes, or you can also visit us at patreon.com/pessimistic@best. And of course, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at pessimistic@best. And if you're as obsessed with me as I am with you, you can find me at Sam Georgeson on all platforms. And last but not least, I'd like to give a special shout out to my podcast editor and producer, the love of my life, James Arbai, whom I literally could not do this without. So thank you, James. I love you so much. And thank you guys for joining me again this week. I love you too, and I cannot wait to chat with you again soon.